Today we're talking mobile audio and with a heavyweight brand at that. Of course, we're talking about Memphis Audio. And boy, do they got a lot of goodies to share today. Joining me will be their CEO, Nick Lomonaco, along with their Director of Sales, Ellis Mathis, to break it all down. This is CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM, all about Memphis Audio. And it starts now. What's going on, guys, and welcome to another CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu, and you are locked into CMA Networks, where we talk mobile electronics day in and day out. Today, we're talking about Memphis Audio. And boy, what a year this brand has had with the introduction of several new products that are not only exciting, but possibly game-changing. Joining me now is Nick Lamonaco. Nick, welcome to the show. What are we going to be chatting about on today's Connected?
Hey, Ben, always excited to come and hang out with you. We're going to be talking about some awesome stuff today. Obviously, brand new, legendary new Mojo 12 subwoofer. We got the brand new VIV subwoofer, new 12-inch, which we didn't have before. Of course, got to talk about the PRX subs, which got a 3 to 6 dB output improvement. And then finally, we're also going to talk about our all-new redesigned, super awesome SRX bass packages, where we got a lot to talk about today.
Well, it sounds like we're talking all about bass, and I'm okay with that. But first, an opportunity for our partner, SiriusXM, to remind you why it's always a great add-on sale. And when we come back, let's get into it with Memphis Audio. I'll see you after the break.
Hey, Paul here with SiriusXM, and I'd like to talk to you about attachment selling and why the SiriusXM product is one of the best things to add, especially since we don't trade dollars with any other category. I could go through all of this, but let's hear what some of our dealers have to say.
It's an easy add-on that takes, 10, 15 minutes if we're running an antenna, 1 minute if we've got an adapter to plug it into the factory SiriusXM antenna, and it's extra money. So, no brainer.
I present it to every customer because a lot of customers don't know what all they can do with Sirius. They don't know what all content they could have. It just makes too much sense not to sell it.
It creates a different customer loyalty and customer security when you explain to them why it's a better experience. Just gets them back in the door. And then the next car, they're already asking for it again. So it just keeps selling itself. It makes more sense.
Well, there you have it. You heard from our dealers. Just remember some of the best practices. Make sure you have one on display so you can demo it. Make sure you're taking advantage of our rewards program, because if you're not taking advantage of that, you're leaving even more money on the table. Make sure you got our POP up on display. And other than that, just make sure you're recommending it.
And welcome back to the show. Joining me now, of course, is Nick Lamonaco as well as Ellis. Guys, what's going on? Listen, first of all, I'm going to repeat it because you only get a 60th birthday once. So, of course, if you don't know, this is Memphis Audio's 60th anniversary. That's crazy to say because that seems like a hell of a long time. How has this season been going for you so far, Nick?
It's been going great. Yeah, it's super awesome to be in the audio industry for 60 years. Obviously started slightly before I was born, but yeah, it's 60 years, one of the oldest audio brands in the world. So I'm very excited to be celebrating our 60th year, and things have been going great, especially the last couple months with a lot of our new products launching and shipping.
Well,
So
we
it's been
do have
good
a lot of
times.
product to touch on, and the first one I want to talk about has somewhat of a lineage, right? Because we're gonna get right into one of the most popular subs out there, period. And we're talking about the Mojo lineup. Now, we were just talking backstage, Ellis. This new version that we're about to talk about is which version of this Mojo line of subwoofers from Memphis?
This is actually the 8th version. So we're on Mojo number 8 here with the new MJ
Can't believe
1212.
this is I remember when the Mojo first came out. I know I'm aging myself here, but like literally, I do remember when the first Mojo came out. But now we're in the 8th version. Might I coin the term? This is the Mojo Ocho? Huh? You like that?
That sounds good to me.
That.
It is. It is.
I gotta say, once you guys launched this, I remember back at K-Fest, you showed it to me. We had a chance to cover that, and since then, the hype that this sub has built up. Nick, I want you to speak to a little bit about the cult following almost that this Mojo lineup of subwoofers has developed.
Yeah, I mean, just to be honest with you, we're working on this sub. It's been a couple years in development, and once we had some of the final samples that we sent here, the prototypes we were testing, they weren't cosmetically right because we didn't care about it being cosmetically. We want to make functionally right. So we had heard it, tested it, all that stuff. But I honestly wanted to wait until I was with Ellis and a couple others to open the box and see it for the first time like a consumer, because it is Mojo. It is part of our DNA at Memphis. The Mojo woofer is part of our DNA. So, I mean, Ellis saw the final version, this cosmetically perfect, the same time as me, and we both opened that box and we got like that grin, like the first subs we ever put in our trunk. Like we were so excited to see it. It looks awesome. It actually looks, I don't know if it's possible, but it looks better than we even thought it was going to. And pretty much everyone else that has any knowledge of the Mojo woofer said the same thing when they walked up. They're like, "Oh man, this brings me back to the old school," but also they know that we're bringing the new school technology to make it really
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'm
kick
going to
ass.
comment on that. We're going to take a look at the sub in a second. But the first time I saw it, that old school thing that you talk about, you guys are going to see this. They brought back some of that OG style, that we like from the past, but blended it with a lot of modern materials and technology. So let's not waste any time. Let's get into it. Let's take a deeper dive, guys, into the brand new, reimagined 8th edition of the Mojo 12 subwoofer.
So the first thing you're going to notice about the Mojo sub here is obviously the orange highlights, which orange is our color. You got the orange stitch, you got the orange Memphis Mojo logo there, and then you'll start to see the orange basket kind of creeping through the gasket there. But some of the new tool technology that we have in there is that beautiful glossy real carbon fiber dust cap. That's not a fake carbon fiber dust cap. It's not fake painted or anything. That's real carbon fiber. You look close, you'll see the little imperfections that carbon fiber has. So super rigid by being super light and super efficient for that sub. But I'll let Ellis talk to this. One thing that we've been heard about of the last couple revs of the Mojo was it didn't look loud, even though they knew it would be loud. So that's the one change we made on the front of this woofer, right, Ellis, to make people happy and make them understand this is a loud woofer.
That's absolutely right. Uh, the original version and the last version of the sub sounded great and was very loud, but we were told it was a little bit too pretty. We needed to beef this thing up, make it look more like that old school Mojo everybody's used to seeing. And that's where you come in with this giant high roll surround, double stitched to not have any problems with the speakers. It's playing, keep everything held together nice and tight. And like Nick mentioned, the carbon fiber cone does kind of fancy it up a little bit, but man, it still looks like a really tough subwoofer.
Yeah, moving down, looking at the side of the woofer, the original Mojo woofer, and going back to some early renditions of the Mojo, we had a stamped steel basket. So we have a much better process now. We have a beautiful cast aluminum basket. So we're able to get more rigidity out of some solid aluminum frame. And of course, going back to the old school, we made it bright Memphis orange there. And then we got to roll in to the new school technology. And we're talking exclusive, patented, only Memphis has that. I'll let Ellis talk a bit about the flex technology on this subwoofer.
Right, Nick. So the flex technology on this subwoofer is very easy to use. We've upgraded in 2025. So as opposed to using just basic wires that are jumping from terminal to terminal, we now have the fancy flex plug here. All you have to do to select between 1 and 2 ohm is simply insert the plug into the correct slot. If you want this to be a 1 ohm subwoofer, we're going to go right here. If you want it to be a 2 ohm subwoofer, all you have to do is unplug it, move it over to the second slot. Now it's a 2 ohm subwoofer.
All right, guys, I want to take a second to really illustrate the significance about this exclusive flex technology. I know we've talked about it in previous shows. I love the way that you guys have made this so simple with that jumper plug. So kudos to whoever thought of that. But let's talk a little bit about the benefits for those that don't quite grasp why this is so important. So let's go to you, Ellis. Why would somebody want to have a subwoofer that has a selectable impedance?
I think the biggest reason is probably that no matter what amplifier you have, you're always going to have the correct subwoofer. I think just off the bat, that's probably the biggest benefit. The other secondary benefit, which is almost equally as important, is the ability of system scalability and growth. If you start off with one subwoofer, you decide, hey, what, I want more bass. I want to set up to 2 subs or 3 subs or 4 subs. You don't have to buy brand new subwoofers every time. You can simply move that jumper, set the subwoofer to the ohm load you need,
because
you're
let's
ready to
say
rock.
for now I'm starting out my system. I can afford one Mojo 12. A little bit later on, hey, I want to add a second one, change the enclosure, get more output. Well, guess what? All you got to do, switch up the impedances, optimize the load, and Bob's your uncle. However, Nick, there's also an added benefit from a dealer perspective, isn't there?
Yeah, from a dealer perspective, I mean, you always have the right sub in stock. So from a dealer perspective, they're going to call the company, they're call their sales rep or something, and they're going to go, hey, do you have the new 12 in stock? Well, do you have the right impedance? Oh crap, I need that one. And they didn't have it in stock. So when you have the flex technology, you always have the right sub in stock. So you can always keep your customer happy. Ellis and I both, we started in this industry being enthusiasts, wiring things up wrong ourselves in our trunk. And being able to go get the right sub from your local audio shop was a big deal because you wanted it now. So that's huge to always have the right woofer in stock.
We're talking a lot about this Mojo 12 because it deserves the time. And we're not done because there's even more technology that's based on the performance, the voice coil, and that type of stuff. So let's take a closer look at the backside of what really makes this Mojo 12 tick.
So the first thing you'll notice on the back of this beautiful looking sub is the giant magnet. And then you'll see those holes right there that are about 4 inches wide because this has a 4-inch voice coil, an aluminum voice coil, which makes the voice coil super light, super efficient, and really good at getting that heat out. And some may ask, some people are used to seeing like a hole right in the middle of the back of the sub, which is called pole venting, which is really an inefficient and I guess archaic way to vent and try to cool a subwoofer. We go with DVVC cooling, which is direct vent voice coil technology. So Ellis, why don't you explain a little bit about why those holes are there and what they do?
Right. So that DVVC is very important for keeping that voice coil cool. We all know the number one killer of big subwoofers is heat. These subs are going to get hot. They're going to heat up when you put all that power in there. But having our DVVC technology allows you to keep that subwoofer cool. As Nick mentioned, the voice coil rides right in the center of this gap where the holes are. So every time that sub plays, it's going to be pulling in cool air and pushing out the hot air, as opposed to just having stagnant hot air remaining inside the subwoofer. This is the best way to keep that sub nice and cool.
All right, guys, thanks for all that effort and really showing us all the new features of the new Mojo 12 subwoofer. But our next item that we're going to take a closer look at today is, well, pretty much the highest end or best SQ sub, I guess, within the lineup in the VIV series. Now, the VIV series has been around for a while, but this is a new size, and I want you to talk about it. This is the new VIV 12. All right, so what can you tell us, Nick, about the new VIV 12?
So for those that know, the VIV 14 was a revolutionary sub in the industry, a 7.5-inch voice coil, virtually no distortion, played flat from 20 to 500, 2200 watts. Well, we got a lot of feedback from our customers that they wanted a more everyday woofer that could handle the power, but also have that SQ in a loud woofer. And so we went back to the drawing board and we came out with this VIV 12, which if your frequency response, if you plug this in, is still a very flat response from 20 and plays to 500. Most subwoofers start to really drop off, at a little over 100 hertz. You really start to see it drop off. Not this woofer. This woofer will play, and you could play mid bass with this woofer if you had room to put 12s in your door, would be no problem. So we're very excited that this woofer came out. It's in an everyday size, still 1,000 watts. It's still going to move a lot of air and be super loud, but it's going to be super clean as well.
So let's take a look at this new VIV 12-inch subwoofer. Not only is this a good-looking subwoofer, but it also sounds great. You may notice from the top down, we have this nice composite fiber cone. We have a cast aluminum basket and that signature Memphis V-groove surround. Now what this surround's going to do is it's going to keep that big, deep bass you've always had, but allows this sub to be even tighter and punchier. So great all-around sub, whether you're trying to get that ground pounding bass or nice, tight, punchy sound quality in your vehicle.
Yeah, with all that technology on the front side and the 1,000-watt power handling, this woofer works great with the PR 1000, a Mojo Pro 1000. Memphis made it look good. So if we look at the side, look at the basket, look at the back of this woofer, in addition to making it sound great, function great, we made it look great. Let's take a look at that.
So like I mentioned before, this sub has a beautiful cast basket, but probably what you're going to notice first is this venting on the back of the subwoofer. This is our DVVC venting to keep this aluminum voice coil as cool as possible when you're really putting that power to the subwoofer. You may also notice a couple of different connection points on the back of the subwoofer. This one's going to be our input from the amplifier. The other two, that's for our flex technology. This is going to allow us to select whether we want this subwoofer to be 1 ohm or 2 ohm. If we plug it in on this side, now we have a 1 ohm subwoofer. We move the jumper over, place it on the other side. Now it's a 2 ohm subwoofer, making it one of the most flexible and best sounding subs in our lineup.
All right, guys, heavy hitter show today. We talked about the new Mojo and, of course, that new VI V12. Now let's talk about some bread and butter stuff that really moves, because the PRX line has always been so popular within the Memphis lineup. But now you've kind of updated the subwoofer. So we're going to be talking about the new PRX subwoofer. Nick, what can you tell us real quick?
Well, I mean, the PRX line, for all of our customers and dealers and end users, everyone kind of knows this is our bread and butter of Memphis. From the speakers, the amps, subs, everything's awesome, looks great. It screams Memphis. Everyone's used to it. So we didn't want to break what wasn't broken, but we just wanted to enhance it and add some features that, number one, no one else has, but number two, no one else has. So yeah, we were real excited about the
Let's
update of
take a
these
closer
subs.
look at the new PRX sub.
So looking at this sub, you'll notice one major difference that I'll get to in a second. But one thing we didn't change was that awesome black on black gloss and matte black M on the front, making you completely sure that this is a Memphis woofer. But if you've heard me talk before, we have an added 3 to 6 dB of output with the LED ring on this subwoofer. And what's crazy is I always say hashtag science, and I might be a little bit crazy when I say LEDs at 3 to 6 dBs, but Ellis, can you tell us why this subwoofer, how the LED actually does add to the output?
Absolutely. So you can obviously see the bright blue glow coming from the subwoofer, but when we put that extra strip in that allows the LED lights to shine through, this subwoofer actually has a little bit more cone area than the standard PRX subwoofer. More cone area, moves more air. It's just going to sound a little bit louder.
So obviously the LED was a huge upgrade, but we also added a power handling upgrade, a 33% power handling upgrade from 300 watts to now 400 RMS on the 10 and 12, which who's going to be mad or shake a stick at that? But one of the coolest things, and another thing that only Memphis has, exclusive to Memphis, is our patented flex technology. So let's take a look at this super awesome technology.
So the thing that makes this subwoofer super special is the integrated flex technology. Now this sub's different than all the other ones in our line that use flex technology because it is 3 impedance selectable. That's right, this subwoofer can be 1 ohm, 2 ohm, or 4 ohm. All you have to do to achieve that change is plug this jumper into the appropriate spot on the subwoofer, and it automatically will change from 1 ohm to 2 to 4. So if we want to be at 1 ohm, we can put the jumper in slot number 1. We can simply move it here. Now it's a 2 ohm subwoofer. And for the last jump over to 4 ohm, it's as easy as that. The subwoofer can literally be almost any ohm load you want it to be.
All right, guys, we're down to the last product of today's show, and I know why you put this in there, because this is literally stuff that goes out the door. It's a great solution, easy setup, bass package. We're talking about the XRE12DP, and I think there's another model as well. But I mean, this is something that people literally walk into a shop and say, "I'll take that." Am I right? Tell me about this, Nick.
Yeah, you're right. This is an awesome bass package for somebody who is getting their first system or a Christmas present from grandma and grandpa to put some 12s in your trunk. And so this has been a very popular package for us over the years, but we decided this year to give it a complete upgrade, a power increase, and of course, 3 to 6 dB more output with LEDs. I mean, why
we'll
not?
put some images up. Obviously, this looks like a really clean deal. These dual 12s come with this amplifier. What can you tell us about the tech specs of this, Ellis?
Right. So this is a big upgrade over our bass package we had in the past. So bigger amplifiers, so up to 600 watts of power output on the amplifier. The subwoofers are upgraded. They were previously 250 watts apiece. Now they're 300 watts apiece. We even modified the box. We've got a much bigger port. It's a front-facing port now. So this bass package is actually going to play a lot lower and smoother than the previously similar bass package.
And might I say, at a very attractive price point to boot. So good job, guys. If you guys are looking for a package that you can literally stockpile in your showroom and for your people to literally come in and say, "I'll take one," make sure you plug one in, because that's a really cool logo lit up right there in the front, which I hate to say this, but yeah, Nick, you're right. People like that kind of stuff. People like that kind of stuff. All right, let's wrap this up right here, guys. This seems like it's the anniversary year, first and foremost, but this is the year of the subwoofer over at Memphis Audio. What message do you have for everybody tuning in, Nick?
Well, I want to say that I'm excited about our 60th anniversary. I'm excited about all the new product that's come out. So if you haven't taken a look at Memphis, especially if you haven't spent some time with the new product we launched this year, please do, because we have a lot of awesome stuff in our line in general. But of course, with the new stuff we talked about today and some other new stuff we didn't talk about today. So give us a look.
I'd like to take this opportunity and thank both my guests today, both Ellis as well as Nick, for bringing us on this journey of all these cool new products coming to you from Memphis Audio. Now, if you want to find out more information, definitely head on over to their official website found at memphiscaraudio.com. My takeaway from this, you listen, Memphis has always been a staple when it comes to mobile audio, but this year it feels like a lot of stuff has happened for them at the right time. Everything they've been planning for the 60th anniversary has come to fruition. Look no further than that Mojo sub. I don't want to discount the VIV sub, but that Mojo is breathtaking. Everything about it screams decades of learning, of evolving, down to their eighth edition of this very popular platform. From the custom orange basket to the venting technology to the exclusive flex technology and that wicked looking high roll surround that we all love on that really modern carbon fiber cone. I mean, there's not much to say. I've heard this thing. It is absolutely impressive. If you're looking for this type of subwoofer, definitely take a closer look. And again, happy birthday, Memphis. It's 60 years. That's absolutely a milestone. That's it for this CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.